Hey there, welcome back to the Badass Business Planning course. We're still here in Module 1 where we're talking about the planning process. And in this lesson, I just want to caution against what I would say is kind of the biggest mistake that I see online entrepreneurs make, which is overthinking this. And what I mean is, I want to be very clear. The plan you create today is going to be wrong. And there's nothing wrong with that. The key aspect that I want you to understand is that the sooner you come up with a plan and start executing and get into action testing and seeing what works, the better. You're never going to actually be able to think your way to a perfect solution. No matter how much you think about this, no matter how much time you think you put together planning, you're going to get things wrong. And so you want to do this without getting bogged down. And so you're probably saying, okay, what does that mean? And I wanted to give you some sense of the time and like how long it should take you. And what I want you to get is, if you're working on your business full time, you should be able to do this in a couple of weeks. You should be able to finish the entire planning process in a couple of weeks at the most. And the value of that is, like, if you're going through the BOM process that we teach here in BOMU, phase 1 is the planner. And you want to get through the planner phase so you get to the builder so you can start building. So you really, if you commit to doing the work, should be able to get this done in a couple of weeks at the most. So let's walk through the different parts of the canvas to give you a sense of, is this involved or not? So your uniqueness section, so where you're filling out the core competencies, core values, and cowbell, which we're going to talk about on the next module, that should take you an afternoon at the most. This is about doing internal work. You don't have to do anything outside. And it's not about coming up with it perfectly. It's about coming up with the work. And we'll talk about what's in those. But again, literally one afternoon, you should be able to get that done. That should be something you're like, okay, boom, done. Because I simply have to think about it and make sure that I'm thinking about it the right way. So the next piece is your niche, and it doesn't include the core differentiator, but the core differentiator too. This is where you're going to spend, this is where you'll spend the most time. This is your market research phase. This is where you're doing the work to figure out who do you serve and who are the different groups and how do you kind of group them and what are the problems that they have. And so this requires you to go out and learn from other people. So you're going to have to do some external work. If you haven't done any of this yet, it's going to take you some time. But once you have done that work, again, you can implement it pretty quickly. You're not looking for perfect here. You're looking for a first cut and really thinking this through. So that'll be the long part. So if the entire process is going to take you 2 weeks, this would take you, 12 days. So the vast majority of the planning will be spent in this, not because you're actually actively doing work, but because it takes time to get into the communities, to really kind of figure the things out. So that's where you're going to spend most of your time. Then the your solution section, again, this you should be able to operate pretty quickly, because once you know, hey, what are you good at? What are the things that are unique to you? And then what do the people in your niche need? And what are all those things? And we'll talk about each of these in turn. Then it's just a matter of saying, okay, now I've got to take those two things, put them together, and create the plan. And so that is something that if you could dedicate a day to it, you should be able to figure out an initial plan for your product mix, for how you're going to acquire and connect with people, for your analytics, and for your revenue and cost. So that's, speaking generally, how long this process should take. I get that everybody is different, but I want you to understand that the point of planning is not to come up with a perfect plan, because you won't. It's to come up with an initial plan so that you can start executing on that initial plan, and then from there, get feedback and figure out what's working and modify. The entire process of building a business is about iterating. It's about trying something, learning, changing, trying, learning, changing. So that's kind of the process. So what you want to do is create this plan and just recognize and be okay with the fact that you're going to be wrong, that you're going to mess things up, but You're creating this initial plan and getting into motion. So that is the point here. And that's the lesson I wanted to teach you as we wrapped up this module 1. Now, in the next module, we're going to talk about your uniqueness. And we're actually going to talk about it pretty quickly just so you understand, because we actually cover these topics in another course, but I want to go over them quickly so you understand them and kind of understand how they fit together. So that's what we have in store. I will see you in module 2, where we will talk about starting to fill out this first column in your canvas, where you figure out what's unique about you that makes you different, that can affect how you put your business together. So I will see you in module 2.